Alison, last night the government announced their second pandemic budget, and there were 6 key measures that we felt were probably most relevant to our clients. So obviously keen to go through those today and have a bit of a discussion as to how they impact our clients most. The first one was the increase in the superannuation guarantee from 9.5% to 10%, effective from 1 July.
Yeah, for sure. I guess that's a good change, small change, but a good change. So hopefully that will help those working put a bit more extra money into super. Ultimately, we want to be self-funded retirees, so hopefully that's one step closer to that.
Absolutely. And I think the one change that as advisors we're most excited about was the removal of the work test for those between the ages of 67 and 75.
To meet the work test, you have to work for 40 hours over a 30-day consecutive period. Again, the aim is to be able to put more money into super, and this is just one less hurdle that individuals, especially older Australians, don't have to go through now.
Exactly, and look, with an ageing population, it's becoming more and more important for people to have the ability to contribute to superannuation to provide for their retirement. And in addition to the work test, removal of the work test, also the ability for those up to age 75 to access that bring forward rule as well.
For sure. So now Australians are able to put in $110,000 into super as an after-tax contribution. So that's an increase by $10,000. And then, like you mentioned, the bring forward rule, you have the ability to put in $330,000 over a 3-year period, which again just increases the amount that we have in super.
And just on that note, the increase in the contribution caps, some of those were announced before the budget, but just to confirm that from 1 July 2021, the concessional contribution cap, which is made up of salary sacrifice contributions and employer contributions, is increasing from 25 to 27,500. And as you said, the non-concessional cap, which is after-tax money, is going from 100 to 110, which enables, when using the bring forward rule, to contribute that one-off amount of $330,000. So all working towards just providing the option for people to contribute more to superannuation.
Definitely. And we favour super because yes, there's a lot of rule changes and things like that over the years, but we favour super because it is far more tax effective to be accumulating super or building assets towards retirement, but also even throughout retirement as well.
And just on that note, with relation to superannuation, the reason why we focus on it so much is because in retirement, there's the ability to have almost all of the earnings within your fund tax-free. There is a limit though as to how much you can have in that tax-free environment, which was previously $1.6 million, and that's from 1 July 2021 going up to $1.7 million. So just increasing the amount that people can have in superannuation and still get those tax-free earnings.
Definitely. Another bonus that older Australians have is the downsizer contribution. So previous to this, people had to be 65 or over to be able to put in money into super from the sale of their home. Now that age has been reduced to 60. So it allows for Australians to, again, put more money into super, which will eventually be advantageous in the future as well.
In particular in a strong property market where for a lot of people their biggest asset is their family home.
Definitely.
But it's important to separate an investment from a lifestyle asset. So it's great having a lot of money invested in a property that you live in, but unfortunately that's not generating any income for you. So you're right, I think that downsizer contribution, increasing the number of people that can actually access it, just enables them to release some of the equity in their home, but importantly, enable them to contribute it to a tax-effective environment.
And I guess it also means that there's bigger houses in the market, so hopefully then families have access to those houses while people who are downsizing are ready for smaller homes.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, at Hewison Private Wealth, self-managed superannuation funds is a specialisation of ours. We have a lot of clients that have self-managed funds, in particular when they're appropriate for them. There was a couple of announcements relating to self-managed superannuation funds. The first one was just the relaxing of the residency requirements. And as we've seen over a number of years, a lot more people are living overseas and working overseas for a period of time, but it has become cumbersome when they're operating a self-managed super fund. So at the moment, there's a bit of a safe harbour where they can remain overseas and still have a self-managed fund for 2 years. The government has announced that they're going to extend that safe harbour to 5 years. So I suppose that just increases the capacity for people to continue on with a self-managed fund while they're living overseas. And the final change just relating to self-managed superannuation funds may not affect a lot of people, but it's also just enabling them to exit a lot of legacy income stream products, so market-linked income streams, life expectancy and lifetime products, which are fairly restrictive in that they don't enable people to access lump sum amounts from superannuation. So the government's just providing a 2-year period where they can either roll back to accumulation and then perhaps start a pension. So I think that's definitely a win for self-managed superannuation funds.
Definitely.